The journey through life is a difficult one. There are going to be times in your life that are going to twist you all around, twist you like a rubber band ball, or they'll take you like a lump of coal and will keep squeezing you and squeezing you and squeezing you until you become a beautiful diamond. And then you'll realize over here looking, there are so many great, wonderful, seemingly easy, effortless times. My God, things over here are coming so easy. No wonder I had to go through all these difficult times. And through the journey of life, you're going to realize there are relationships and friendships, numerous ones, that people are going to have. And over here, friendships and relationships that went sour for whatever reason, either because of your, actions or their actions. It just didn't work out. And you feel like you wasted so much time, energy, and passion on them. And you're like, why did I do that? But then over here, there will be the ones, sometimes the ones that got away, the ones that are really good for you, and the ones where you're thinking, I wish I had more time with this person, even if you knew them back in your childhood. And speaking of that, what if you could reconnect with somebody from your childhood, somebody that you shared a common bond with, were kindred spirits with? What if you could find out, maybe the more things change, the more they stay the same, what if you could reconnect? What would you do? What would you do? Past Lives was written and directed by Celine Song. You should totally go watch it if it's playing in your area. It's fucking terrific. Kind of tipping my hand early there. It was produced by A24. And other studios. A24 Neon Studios. That's pretty much, they're like 1 and 1A right there. You put A24 Neon Studios on the marquee, I'm watching it. So this is about two childhood friends. Nora, played by Greta Lee. Well, the adult version played by Greta Lee. She had another name back in South Korea, but I'll use Nora for the purposes of the story. And Ha Sung, played by Teo Yoo, who is very good as well. And there's one other character I'll talk about in a little bit, but it centers around Nora and Ha Sung, who clearly loved each other even as kids. They did. There's this sweet, just great opening part where they talk. There's English parts to this, but get ready to have your reading glasses on, folks, because quite a bit of this is in Korean. And they talk about, life and stuff like that. Nora had mentioned that she wanted to win the Pulitzer, as it were, or the Nobel Peace Prize. And she's really, really smart. And Ha Sung beat her in a test. And he's like, well, and she was upset. And he's like, I come in second place to you all the time. I don't get upset. And then basically what ends up separating these two, and after a really tender, sweet part where they're having a date in the park, their mothers are there. It's great. It's low key, but it's well done. Facial expressions, everything by these two child actors. I have no idea who they are. Great stuff. And then Nora's family immigrates to Canada, specifically Toronto, and then basically her and Ha Sung separate, and it's kind of a rough split, as it were. And then years later, while they're both in school, Ha Sung has been looking for her because he's been thinking about her. When you have that kind of connection with somebody, you generally are not able to get rid of it. And he was looking under her old name, but then he found out that her name was Nora, and she connected with him, and they talk, and everything is really cool. And they reconnect as far as over Skype. And then they decide to cool this off because they're talking about coming to see each other, but they really won't be able to do that because of their schooling. And then years later, finally, Ha Sung comes to New York to visit her. They reconnect face to face, these two childhood friends after so many years. What could possibly happen? What in the world could possibly happen? One of the best movies of the goddamn year. That's what. This was terrific. Celine Song deserves so much goddamn praise. Greta Lee, Teo Yoo, and Nora doesn't end up getting married at this point. Or during the intervening 12 years since they, disconnected after reconnecting. John Magaro, who's great as Arthur, he's great. And it centers around those three particular ones. But Nora and Ha Sung are the two they're focused on. And you see their journeys. You see the stuff that Ha Sung's going through in Korea. And while Nora's doing great things in New York, there's always going to be that what if in the back of your skull. And that's what this movie plays on, and plays it on the best way possible. I'm assuming, just covering my ass here because I actually don't know, that Celine Song put some of her own life experiences, whether it was stuff she experienced personally or stuff she saw happen, and put it into a story that feels organic and doesn't feel rushed and plays along. It basically is a one-act or a long play, like, just almost playing on real time. I mean, obviously there are points where there are certain cuts that are made, but there are long shots and some great moments where Nora and Ha-sung share this kinship still. They share this kinship, and there's this thing referred to as Iyun, or Inyun, I believe. Inyun. And it's about, people in their past lives. We may have known each other in our past lives in a different way, or this kind of stuff. Everything, reincarnation, that kind of stuff, basically. And it turns out to be such a beautifully told story. The ending fucking got me. Thank you, A24. Thank you, Celine Song. Thank you, Greta Lee and TOU, for getting me that. Thank you. You got me. I had to put on my goddamn sunglasses and walk out of the theater like a goof. No, I'm kidding. It was great. A24 knocked it out of the fucking park, though. I'm going to get into spoilers. Spoilers really won't take very long, but it's fucking terrific. You absolutely need to go check this out while it's playing in theaters. Otherwise, catch it on stream, but please watch this. Great stuff. Absolutely great stuff. Deserves the highest praise that it's been getting. 3, 2, 1, and spoilers. So it turns out Ha-sung has come with a bit of a, not just to go on vacation, because he's had relationships that have come and gone. He drinks with his buddies. He's still working hard, and he decides to take a vacation. The vacation is to see Nora. And the great moments, by the way, when they're, that stuff with when they were kids, great stuff. When they were talking while they were in school, and South Korea has a mandatory military thing that Ha-sung was also in. Nora and him are talking, and it's really sweet. You can desperately see they want to just cut and run. They want, she wants him to come see her. He wants her to come see him. They basically just want to see what happens. But they can't uproot their lives. They worked so hard to get where they are. Especially Nora, whose parents immigrated to give her a better life. Not that they didn't have a great life in South Korea, but she's making the most of this and trying to expand her dream. We don't see the parents, by the way, again, at all. I don't think. But anyway, then they connect. They connect, and it gets close. And then she says, "How about this? It's been you got like a year and a half of school. I got over a year of school. I'm thinking about doing this and uprooting and everything, and I've worked too hard for this, and you worked too hard for this. Let's cool it." And then they cool it. And then some 20, or I think it's 12 years later, the Time Jump Olympics have come in again. They reconnect, and during this time, Nora has gotten married to Arthur, John McGarrell, who is a hardworking man. And then, basically, Ha-sung decides to go to New York, see Nora. And obviously, and he's aware that she's married. And he's not going to try to disrupt that marriage. And he doesn't. He doesn't try to disrupt that marriage. He just basically confesses how he feels. He's not trying to change her mind. He's not trying to make her leave her husband. She never thinks about doing that. Except in the facial expressions in the back of their heads, you can tell. They wonder what if. And beautiful cinematography. Great stuff. Great use of music. Great performances. There's one particular part where Arthur and Nora are talking in bed. I'm not going to talk about every single thing. I want you guys to experience more of this stuff. But where they're talking, and Arthur feels, and he said he trusts his wife. He wants her to see her childhood friend, somebody that she obviously does love. And he just is worried because he may not be good enough for her. And she says, this is where life has led me. I'm with you, and I'm happy with you. And she is happy with him, and they love each other, and that's where it's been. Ha-sung and her and Arthur are at a bar, and first Arthur is getting involved in the discussion, or getting included, rather. And he understands some Korean, but not much. And then Ha-sung and Nora talk. And it's basically a lot of confessions and stuff like that. And he says, "You have a very good husband. I wish that we, could be together, but I know we can't." And the fucking paint on this guy's face. Jesus. Where did he come from? What other stuff has he been in? I should have checked his IMDb page for more shit. I gotta see what else this guy has been in. And Greta Lee with the pain on her face, but obviously they still care about each other, obviously. And then, this is after Ha-sung had been with them in their to eat with them and just see their home and visit. And him and Nora had done some sightseeing, like seeing the Statue of Liberty, and even Arthur's like, well, I've never been there. Wait, really? You've never been there? And then that's where that discussion came up about that, because he's worried, this is the part where if it was a story, I'd be the white guy standing in the way of your true love. And she's like, no, this is where life led me. And then, sorry, his Uber's about to arrive, Ha-sung. She walks him out there, and they talk. And then they greet each other, and they say goodbye to each other the same way again. Like they did when they were kids. Flashbacks, great storytelling. Gets in his Uber. Uber driver is really patient. Sitting there in New York, by the way, for a few minutes, with the door open. But then he leaves. Nora walks back, and just boom, collapses in her husband's arms crying. And it's not that she doesn't love her husband. She does, but obviously she loved this guy. And he knew that. And it's not that he's mad at her. He's not mad at her at all. He's a very understanding guy. We all should strive to have somebody that understand, be that understanding with people and trust somebody that much. And then Ha-sung leaves and that movie ends. A+, gets an A+. I'm not going to cry now like I did before. Anyway, so yeah, that was great. Fucking great. Absolutely great performances and great writing, directing. Give Celine Song more projects. I look forward to seeing what else she can do. Agree, disagree, what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Rickland. I'll see you soon.